I'm reviewing 100 queer movies in 2026. For movie number 10, I watched Morris. This is a British period drama from 1987, and it's probably the film that I had received the most recommendations for but still hadn't seen. It follows a pair of well-to-do Englishmen over the course of decades of their lives, starting out in university and continuing well into their adulthood. As you can imagine, they are both gay, and the majority of the drama comes from their respective responses to a society that does not accept them for who they are. This film is visually beautiful. It reminds me a lot of Portrait of a Lady on Fire, with one key difference, which I'll get to in a second. But I think the acting, direction, and cinematography are all really strong here, and that's evidenced by how much the plot develops with no words being said. I do have my standard complaints about the sound balancing, in that the dialogue is too quiet relative to everything else, which I'm realizing is actually quite common in all of the British movies that I'm watching, but either way, that's kind of a minor complaint. My bigger issue was with the story itself, and this is where the key difference between this and Portrait of a Lady on Fire comes in. I don't want to spoil anything, but I see the film towards the end creating kind of a false dichotomy of choice for the main characters, and ultimately I didn't love it as much because these two characters are wealthy, powerful men. One of them does seem to have more to lose, and that does inform his decision making, so I don't think it's completely crazy, but I was ultimately kind of left wondering why I'd spent nearly 2.5 hours watching at least one of the members of a dreamy, boyish romance turn into a relatively spineless member of the bourgeoisie. I'm not saying that every movie has to have a happy ending, but for main characters that are essentially default winners in life, I expected a little bit more struggle or fight from them, and I didn't get it. This lack of fire ultimately put me at 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd for this film. And if I'd seen it at 13 years old on Comcast Video on Demand, there definitely would have been plenty for me to enjoy, but I probably would have felt the same way as I do now. 5 out of 10 tissues.